Well, hey guys, it's Viejo here, and we are in the 4th week of January in 2024. Time's flying. Had kind of a sunny day here on the central coast of California. Never got real warm. In fact, it's windy. It's late afternoon right now, and my voice kind of scratchy. I apologize. I've been out in the wind casting and powder coating and doing all that other kind of fun stuff today, and my nose is running. Hey, I got something new from Lee, and some of you may have seen this already or heard of it, but Lee's got an upgrade kit for their Autodrum powder measures, and it's something that you may or may not really need. I think I'm gonna like it. And we had a couple issues, nothing major, but some things that we didn't like about the Autodrum powder measures. Let's take a look at what I'm talking about. A couple of the problems with the current issue. One is that it's really hard to get in here and get at this lock nut, okay, especially if you've already got dies on your turret. The other thing is if you've got dies in here, you just can't really rotate the powder measure. You've got to do it all with this little lock nut here, and trying to get this adjusted to the right height so that it will operate the drum is tricky with other dies already on here. Then of course the other thing is this. I don't know about you guys, I don't like this thing. I've never liked it, mainly because when we're working on adjusting our powder throw here, we throw a charge, it's not right, it's too heavy, it's too light, and we need to make an adjustment here. You can't just throw it back into the powder measure, into the hopper. And we know that Lee designed this cap so that you could put a jar of powder on here and use the actual powder jar. And that sounded like a good idea, except that you can't see into the black powder jar. So, I don't know anybody who was actually doing that. So what I was doing, I was using the old style powder hopper. And I only had one of these. Okay, each time you buy one of these, if you want to set a separate powder measure up on every turret you got and get another powder measure, that's reasonably affordable if you don't have too many turrets. But this was easily transferable from one measure to the other. And I do like the bases of these things that have that switch on and off so that you can bring the whole hopper off of the powder measure without having to worry about dropping powder all over the place. Okay, so this style is preferable. All right, so there are a couple things about it that could be better. It's just hard to get in and make adjustments and so forth, particularly if you've already got your other dies on a turret. Well, Lee has come out with what they call the Deluxe Autodrum Upgrade Kit. Okay, there's the information, and that's all that's on the box, on the outside anyway. And I just got this in, and I got this, actually there was a fellow on eBay who was selling them, and it was just a couple bucks cheaper than ordering them from Lee and having to pay shipping from Lee and so forth. This guy shipped for free, so you can look around. I'll give you a part number. Okay, let's put the part number right here, and you can look it up that way. Find it on Midway or Brownells or wherever, Titan, or right from Lee's website. So there's the part number. Let's go ahead and get this open and see what's in there. Okay, so got an instruction sheet there. We have a new powder hopper, the old style. So that's a plus right there. Got a baggie with a part in it, and there's another part. Okay, that's it. That's all that's in there. Let's get these instructions open and see what they say. Okay, Lee says that the Deluxe swivel adapter improves handling and adjustment of the Autodrum and raises the powder measure to clear the tallest dies. Okay, so those are two of the issues that we sometimes have problems with. Let's check the measurement from the top of the turret right to the bottom of that piece right there. What do we get? Looks like maybe 1 inch and what, 3/8? We'll call it 1 inch and 3/8. Okay. We've also provided the highly requested hopper with a removable cover. In other words, the old school hopper. All right, so let's go through here. The first step says remove the drop tube. Rotate and pull out the old drop tube with pliers and discard the drop tube. Okay, let's do that. So here we've got some pliers. And let's go ahead and see how easy this is to get out of there. Just rotate and pull it out. Oh, it comes right out. It's butter. Okay, we look at the old one. This is the new one here. And see the difference? This is a piece of tubing. This is split. Okay, and there's the difference in length. Old one, new one. Okay, so the next step then says to remove the O-ring, actuator lock, and swivel adapter. Okay, but then it says save the O-ring. Okay, we get that O-ring off of there. You need to get back in behind it with your fingernail or very easily, maybe with a plastic pick or something. Kind of hard to get off. It's tucked up in there tight. So there's the O-ring, and we'll save that as indicated. Now we got to figure out how to get this guy off of there. That looks like it's in there under spring tension. So I'm going to get a screwdriver to push down on that. Okay, without the O-ring on there, that guy is loose. Okay, so that comes right off easily enough. And then it says take this out. Okay, so we got that guy. So there's our parts then, and it says those two are going to go bye-bye, and this one stays hello. Okay. Okay, then the next thing is to slide the swivel adapter into the Autodrum housing and put the O-ring on. Okay, I think that's going to go. It's just going to have to kind of work it up in there. Boy, hit the camera, went all the way across. All right, let's try that again. It does not slide in there easily. Okay, I guess we're going to be able to tell if it's lined up correctly and not over too far one way or the other by putting this guy in there, which is the next step. Insert the new 2 3/4 inch long drop tube swivel into the swivel adapter and align with the drop tube in the housing. I'm not sure how you're going to know if it's aligned or not. There. Okay, it started up in there. Once aligned, firmly push against a solid object or solid surface to set the drop tube. All right. Let's get this stuff out of the way. And we'll use the bench top as our solid object. I think that might be as far as it goes. It did start up in there. Doesn't seem to be any good way to tell if that's already, if it's up in there all the way. Well, I guess we can rotate this. Well, there's a clue right here. It says we should be at 7/8 of an inch. So let's measure that. Yeah. Or 0.78, not 7/8 of an inch, sorry. So we're just a little over 3/4. So I think we're there. When I pushed that up in there, you guys, it went, I wiggled it and it went in. it went into the hilt the first time. It didn't really need any more, and it wasn't that hard. Had to kind of wiggle it here, to get it lined up. But once it was lined up, it went right up in there. It's a tight fit, but it didn't need any pushing, like they indicated. So that's all done, I guess. Okay, I had forgot to put the O-ring on before I put the drop tube in there, but it's on there now. Okay, it just drops on. Okay, it fits kind of behind the threads there. It's not going to fall off. All right, let's go ahead and get it set up on our die here. It seems to just run right in there. It's clearing all of our dies that are there. Yeah. Well, that seems good. And if you remember, we had measured up to this point before. Let's see where we are there now. Okay, so we're up to 2¼ inches to the base of that part now. So, yeah, we did come up quite a bit, and it seems like it's going to be just as solid as it needs to be. Okay, that's a tight piece in there, but it is certainly easier than getting in there with that other little tiny knurled lock nut that was up there. All right. That wasn't a difficult install, and one of the best parts of the whole thing, though, is getting this. And this is available at least on Lee's website again, and I'll stick a part number up here for you so you can go look for it. I haven't seen it in any of the other online sources yet, but it is on Lee's website. It was a little hard to find, but it's there. And I think if you do a search on their website for the part number, that you'll be able to find it. They're relatively inexpensive too. Okay, that was an easy install, guys. It wasn't as hard as I thought it was going to be. I thought that removing that piece was going to be tricky, and it wasn't. It came right out. Let's do a run here and see if I need to bring my die adjustment down again. Oh yeah, it's still right about where it was before. Okay, that's where we adjust our powder throw to. So I'm down to the lock, and I didn't do anything else to this die. This die I got a 38 case in there, guys, and I had adjusted the previous setup to run the powder throw just like that. Okay, that's throwing just the way it's supposed to. Okay, lock to lock. And I didn't have to make any adjustments. I just took the old one off, put the new pieces in, went right back, and we're still at the same adjustment. All right. You might have to double check on your flare if you're using Lee's powder through. This is not Lee's powder through. This is, and you guys have seen me use these before. This is the short charging die, and it doesn't have a expander plug on it. Okay, it's just a charging die, and so it's got kind of a little inverted funnel on there, and it is enough to operate the powder measure, obviously, but it doesn't do any flaring. I do my flaring in my first station. Okay, guys, there you go. The new Lee Deluxe Autodrum upgrade kit seems to be easy enough. The install is simple. Okay, you saw what it took to get it. The hardest thing was getting the old O-ring off and getting this guy pushed up in there. It was a real tight fit. Okay, but it did go. You had to kind of squish it in there. But it if I can do it, you can do it, right? So not hard at all. And we got, back to the powder measure hopper that we like with removable lid. Okay, that's a big improvement right there. This idea here, with the on and off switch that's up in there is just a really good idea. And so I'm glad they kept that. And we got our old hoppers back. Thank you, Lee. All right, I hope you got something out of that. But from the Viejo bench for now, that's all she wrote.